Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well, I wasn't planning on covering trannies anytime again soon, but then this article popped up, one of many everywhere, about how 10 people in France were convicted for insulting Brigitte Macron for pointing out the fact that she's a tranny. So these people who just posted online were accused of cyberbullying, and they were given all these uh, guilty verdicts. And 8 men, 2 women accused of cyberbullying Macron for circulating crude, false, and conspiratorial claims about her gender. These punishments were not symbolic wrist slaps. The defendants were ordered to undergo mandatory cyberbullying awareness programs, while others received suspended prison sentences of up to 8 months, which is a rather remarkable escalation for online speech offenses involving no threat and no physical harm. So these people were just speculating online or just stating their opinion. They believe, or, that she's a tranny. And this has been going on, forever. Everybody knows Brigitte Macron's a tranny. No, I mean, there's tons of stuff online. I think Twitter may have been cleansed a bit because there were other videos up. When I looked up videos, there was more before, but there's actually a picture of her. Many pictures that show that she's a transgender. And there's more than just pictures though with this. There's this whole background that she's hidden about herself. Like you can't find any pictures of her in her younger years being a woman. Uh, and this is a picture over the summer when she went out in a bathing suit. And there's a couple of pictures like this where she has a bulge down there. And look at the shoulders to the waist. So she's wearing a skirt to cover it up. But it's obvious this and other pictures, videos I've seen where he's obviously a man, but that for whatever reason, Macron is really uh, going after people and killing, in some cases, killing them. So here, 10 people are just posting about it online. And now this one's from September 2025 about a Macron critic found dead in France. Olivier Marlou, a French conservative lawmaker, was found in his home of a suspected suicide. Senior French lawmaker known for his staunch criticism of Macron has been found dead in his home in what authorities called a suicide. So this is one critic that was suicided in September, and this past July, uh, there was another suicide of a surgeon who was linked. He was a 58-year-old plastic surgeon who had been linked to Macron's wife Brigitte, and he was found dead falling from a window in Paris. Medical examiners declared that Francois Fevre, who had reportedly promised to reveal details about alleged gender-related surgeries involving Brigitte Macron, committed suicide, they say. So there's 2 suicides in the past year around Macron and around, I don't know if the first one when they murdered, it looks like are suicided in September. They don't mention him calling Brigitte, a man, but I wouldn't put it, I wouldn't dismiss it. It doesn't say that in here, just that it was a critic of Macron. But Macron is very evil and also very unpopular. Now, I did look on Getty, and I trust Getty Images to be sure. You never can be sure of images on social media and videos, but here, at least, you can get some videos that are real that you can trust. And so here, there's not much with her walking. I try to get more of her walking downstairs. They're very short clips. But when you look at them, you can see she is walking like a man with the knees together, straight down the stairs. They both walk the exact same way. Whereas with women, usually the feet go out, the knees go out to the side. But you see when she's walking, it's a very short clip. Let's play it. You see knees together straight. They're both walking exactly the same way. Very different from Harry and Meghan. You see, but she's walking like a man there, knees together, knees touching, no space, straight down. So that's one example. There's another brief example of her walking, but you get the idea. This video as well, there's a brief moment of her walking where her legs are far apart. No tightrope walking, but train track walking. Right here. You can see that. So it's very short, but you can see again, she steps forward and her legs are always wide apart, like Meghan Markle. The way she walks. So that's basically all I can find on Getty. But there are a whole army of people have pointed this out. All the evidence supporting the fact that Brigitte Macron's transgender. And these are professional journalists and researchers. These aren't just a few people online. So it's really outrageous. And now people allegedly suicided. And now 10 people, he's making a statement having 10 people arrested for posting something. It just shows how violent these globalists are getting. And I don't know, I guess he thinks he can stop it or stop people from talking about transgenderism. Because I guess when you identify one, you identify them all, really, because you'll see it everywhere. And by the way, from my last video, I just want to make a mention how I pointed out they're trying to erase the difference between the genders and skeletons. And I came across this article from August 2022 from an archaeologist who writes, trans activists are trying to rewrite ancient history. And this was written by a professor here. It's written by Elizabeth Weiss, professor of anthropology at San Jose State University. And she writes here, according to woke archaeologists and anthropologists, ancient human remains should no longer be classified as male or female. I mean, this is a real thing. This is what's going on in academia. So apparently this is because they claim we don't know how these people would have identified themselves. So she goes on and on about how they are trying to erase sex identification, obviously with the hips and whatnot. And she's saying that if they're trying to erase it and not identify people anymore with that. And this is affecting everything. They're doing this in medicine. They're doing this in anatomy art books. They're doing it everywhere. They're trying to erase the differences of the sexes in the skeletons. They don't want people to be able to recognize trannies. They want them to be seen as the normal. And this professor is pointing out, well, very often to solve crimes, when you find bodies that have only been discovered months or years later, you need to be able to identify the sex in order to notify next of kin and figure out who it is. And that this would, with the woke communist, globalist controlled group are trying to do is trying to erase this classification from academia, from science. Yeah. So it's a real serious problem how they're trying to change everything in the science this way. So they're I'm not going to give you that they're blaming Christians, of course. They're saying they claim that the binary sex division is a duality imposed by Christian colonizers. This is what the woke people say. So it's an attack on Christianity as well, because of course all this is very satanic. As we know, Macron is also very satanic. Remember those 2024 Olympics and how satanic it was, and they are. So they're Satanists as well as, this whole thing is satanic, as well as about transgenderism with this satanic tranny group. And they're getting violent. Macron is violent. People are dying, being murdered because of this, and people are being arrested for pointing out the truth that Brigitte Macron's a tranny, in my opinion. and many others' opinions. And not only that, they are trying to erase the differences between the genders in medicine and in uh, anthropology, and in trying to just dismiss everything we've known for hundreds of years about the skeleton and gender differences. Because the one thing these trans can't change are their hips and the way they walk, and they know it. I think that drives them crazy. So they're just trying to gaslight everybody into saying no, 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 and the hips are the same. Yeah, yeah, So yeah, it's really the bone structure, right? They can't change their shoulder width to hip width, although they do get implants on their hips to make their hips wider. So they do have that. I mean, there's so many things they do, but still, the way they walk seems to give them away the most, as well as just being the large size. But there you have it. So the transgender stuff is as hot as ever. And apparently, I guess the globalists don't want people talking about it, to getting it all exposed as being the satanic agenda that it is. And of course, the Macrons, being the Satanists that they are very much uh, pushing the agenda. That's all I want to say. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.